بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا أما بعد. My dear brothers and sisters, all praise and thanks be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who granted us this Ramadan in good health and Iman, and the time to enable us to get the maximum benefit. Did we do that? Today is the last Friday in this blessed month. Those of us who came this far still have a couple of days before it ends. Let us remember that we don't know if this will be our last Ramadan. Let us feel a sense of genuine regret that this month came and is almost gone. Are we satisfied with what we achieved in it? If not, let us make as much istighfar as we can and make tawbah and turn towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and change our lives. It may be our last chance. We may not get another. One Ramadan will be our last. Ramadan came to remind us about the most critical connection in our lives, the connection with Allah. And that is the topic of my khutbah, Ramadan, the connections. The most critical connection in our lives is the connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The guide to that connection is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and his sunnah is the field book of guidance. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us for a purpose. People ask, why am I here? What is my purpose? Our Creator, Zal Jalali wal Ikram, Rabbul Alameen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, answered the question for us and He said, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. And I created not the jinn and the humans except that they should worship me alone. What is ibadah? What is worship? Ibadah is not simply worship rituals, but it is to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in every aspect of our lives, in every decision, every action and every word. It is to make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala supreme in our lives. He is supreme, but we need to acknowledge that and start living our lives the way He ordered us to do. Factor Allah into the equation because He is in it anyway. A muttaqi, a person of taqwa, is someone who lives their lives by one criterion alone. Does it please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? My brothers and sisters, that is not a mystery either. Does it please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not is not a mystery. That is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent us His beloved messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to answer that question by demonstrating the answer. We answer the question, does it please Allah, with another question. Is it according to the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? If it is, then it will please Allah. But if it is against the sunnah, then it will displease and anger Him. A person who lives his life by this criterion, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us all among them. A person who lives his life or her life by this criterion is a person of taqwa, is a muttaqi. All promises in the Quran are for the muttaqun, for the people of taqwa. For them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised the highest reward without limit. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Ramadan to make us muttaqun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ مُحْسِنُونَ. Allah said, truly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with those who have taqwa and those who are muhsinun, those who are focused on ihsan, which is a higher level even than taqwa. What is a higher reward than to know that Allah is with the muttaqi and the muhsin, the one who is focused on excellence. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not specifying the quantum of reward. He simply says that He is with the muttaqi. This is limitless reward. What more can we ask if Allah is with us? The requirement is at-taqwa. The rewards of taqwa are innumerable. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala relieves the difficulties of the muttaqi. Taqwa results in tawakkul, which is total reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. For the mutawakkil, the one who has tawakkul, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He, Jalla Shanuhu, becomes sufficient for him in the dunya and the akhirah. وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. Allah said, and whoever fears Allah and keeps his duty to Him, whoever has taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He, Jalla Jalaluhu, will make a way for him to get out of every difficulty. Allah did not say every difficulty in this dunya. Every difficulty. The biggest difficulty is on the Day of Judgment. Who will make a way out for us? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who said that? Allah said that. And He will provide him from sources he could never imagine. And whosoever puts his trust in Allah, then Allah will be sufficient for him. Let us reflect on this ayat. What a beautiful bashara. What a beautiful glad tidings this is for us. Taqwa is the spirit of obedience to the one we love the most. The evidence of taqwa must be seen in the changes we make in life, in our decisions, our actions, our speech, our attitude towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's commands and the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. To help us to do this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Ramadan. Allah said, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu kutiba alaykum as-siyamu kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. O you who believe, fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you, that you may become al-muttaqun. The first thing to do is to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for helping us to reach Him by not only sending this special month, but for loading it with all the blessings it comes with. The reward for nafil equal to fard, the reward for fard 70 times the reward in other days. Gates of Jannah open, gates of Jahannam shut, shayateen chained. So when we still do stuff in Ramadan that we know we should not do, we know who the culprit is, right? Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu reported that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, every deed of the son of Adam is for him except for fasting. It, meaning fasting, is for me and I will reward it. As-sawmu li wa ana ajzi bih. Fasting is a shield, so when one of you fasts, he may not be obscene. He should not be obscene or boisterous. He should not be obscene or boisterous. If someone insults him or fights him, let him say, I am fasting. Ana sa'im, let him say, I am fasting. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, by the one in whose hand is the soul of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the breath from the mouth of a fasting person is more pleasant for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than the scent of musk, because that breath is the smell of obedience. The fasting person, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam continued in this hadith, the fasting person has two moments of relief that he enjoys. When he breaks his fast, he is joyful, and when he meets his Rabb, he is joyful for his fasting. In another narration, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, he abandons his food and his drink and his desires for my sake. Fasting is for me and I will reward it. A single good deed will be rewarded with up to 10 likewise like it. And in yet another narration, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, every deed of the son of Adam is multiplied, a single deed as 10 times the like of it, up to 700. And then he said, Allah said, except for fasting, as it is for me and I will reward it. He leaves his desires and his food for my sake. And this is a Sahih Hadith, Muttafaqun alayhi, Bukhari and Muslim. When the slave reflects on the bounties of his Rabb Jalla Jalaluhu, that not only does he, subhanahu wa ta'ala, make it easy to do good deeds by chaining shayateen, but multiplies the rewards of the deeds, he bows his head in thankfulness. He feels a special closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he wants to talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about this, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِ عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ. Allah said, and when my slaves ask you, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, concerning me, then answer them, I am indeed near to them by my knowledge. I respond to the dua of the supplicant of the person making dua when he calls on me without any mediator. He is not going through something, he is directly asking Allah. And Allah loves this. So let them obey me and believe in me, so that they may be rightly guided. My brothers and sisters, there are different ways to demonstrate our respect and love for those we love. The way to express our love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to obey Him. And the way of expressing our love for Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is to do his ittiba, which is to emulate him. When we obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we start to feel the barakah, the blessing of that in our lives. Ramadan comes to reiterate the importance of obedience. I remind myself and you that all ibadat are tools to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The ibadah is not an end in itself, it's a means to gain the closeness, the qurb of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every ibadah is a manifestation of obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the ittiba of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We pray salah because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us to, in the way that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam demonstrated for us. We fast because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us to fast in the way that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did and showed us. We pay zakat as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us to do, and according to what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us about zakat. We do hajj because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called us to His house, and we perform the rituals of hajj there as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam showed us. The purpose of all these acts of worship is only one: to gain Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's qurb, to gain His closeness. Therefore, we must monitor the effectiveness of our ibadah. Are we getting the benefits that the ibadah is designed to give us? About the purpose of fasting, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that He prescribed it to make us muttaqoon, to make us people who are concerned about the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in every aspect of our lives. Let us check how we are doing. Have we become more obedient? What is the evidence? What has changed in our lives? Remember that with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only action counts. That is why the Ayatul Karima which I recited for you, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ. Allah puts conditions for accepting du'as as obedience and faith in Him. Above all else, let us guard what goes into our mouths and what goes into our pockets, our food and our earnings. Make sure that these are halal, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept our du'as. If these two are doubtful or haram, then dua and ibadat are not accepted. In Ramadan, to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we stayed away even from the halal. This is to emphasize for us the importance of staying away from haram throughout our lives. Let us not waste our fasts. Let us get the maximum benefit, because this may be our last chance. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu reported that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever does not leave evil words and deeds while fasting, Allah does not need him to leave food and drink. And this is a Sahih Hadith in Bukhari. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam also said, the true fast is not merely abstaining from food and drink. Rather, the true fast is to abstain from futile activities and obscene talk. Please note that the number one qualifier for futile activities and vain and obscene talk is social media. Let us detox ourselves permanently and get out of all social media. Keep one to make free international calls. Get out of everything else. Write letters and emails and call people and meet people. All these are healthy activities which build relationships which are good for us. Social media, forwards, TikTok, shorts, and all the rest of it only increase negativity and anger and frustration and depression and unhappiness. Social media is toxic. There are any number of studies to prove this. A recent study published in the New York Times links a spike in teenage suicides to the inception of Facebook and Instagram in particular, but almost all other social media. Ramadan is a good opportunity to free yourself from this slavery. Finally, we come to the peak of our Rabb's mercy and generosity, where in the last 10 nights He gave us a night, the worship during which is more than, remember, it's more than, khayrum min, not equal to, but more than worshipping Him continuously for 83 years and 4 months, that is 1000 months. We cannot even imagine how can anyone worship continuously. You have to sleep, you have to eat, and so on and so forth. But Allah gave us this night. The worship in that night is more than worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continuously for 1000 months. And to enhance our reward, He did not tell us exactly when it is. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us to search for it in the odd nights of the last 10 nights of Ramadan. Given that odd and even depends on when the moon is sighted, it could be any of the last 10 nights. And therefore we are encouraged to engage in worship on all the nights. This is where being in itikaf is such a good thing, because you can be assured, inshallah, that you got Laylatul Qadr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ فِي لَيْلَةِ الْقَدْرِ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, which means, verily we have sent it, the Quran, down in the night of Al-Qadr. And what will make you know what is the night of Al-Qadr? The night of Al-Qadr is better than 1,000 months. That is worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continuously for 1,000 months. Therein descend the angels and the Ruh, which is another name for Jibreel alayhi salam, by Allah's permission with all decrees. Peace, salam, all that night. Peace from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that whole night on all the believers until the appearance of dawn. Aisha radiallahu anha, our mother, may Allah bless her and fill her qabr with nur and raise her status and darajat with Him. She is reported, she said, I asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if I was able to get Laylatul Qadr, if I realize Laylatul Qadr, what dua should I make in it? If I realize Laylatul Qadr, what dua should I make in that night? And he, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, replied, you should ask, Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afu fa'afu anni. Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afa fa'afu anni. Oh Allah, you are the most forgiving and you love forgiveness, so forgive me. So forgive me. What a beautiful dua this is. And how beautifully it shows the connection between the Abd and the Rabb, between the slave and his creator and his Rabb. You are the most forgiving and you love forgiveness, so forgive me. Not because I deserve it, but because it pleases you and because you like to do it and because this is in keeping with your majesty and grace. You are Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, forgive me. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us all and to accept our fasting and our tilawatil Quran, our siyam and tilawatil Quran, our qiyam, recitation of the Quran, and our qiyam, our salah, our sadaqah, and all that we did for the sake of Allah. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to cover us with His mercy and forgiveness. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam from all evil and relieve us from our oppressors and help us to find solutions to our problems. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be with us and to provide us from sources we cannot imagine. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to demonstrate His power and glory and generosity to us so that we can bear witness to it and sing His praises and thanks. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept all the du'as we made and to give us what we asked with khair and afiyah, and to add to that from His mercy and generosity, and to give us what He wants to give us as His gift. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين وصلى الله على نبي الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.